So The Lost Metal is coming out in only a few days, and I want to take a moment to talk about any theories that you guys might have. So I went to Instagram and made a post asking for your theories, and I got quite a few comments, and I want to go over these. Now, I haven't read any of these comments yet, so be aware that there might be spoilers here. So with that said, let's just dive into it. The first one by, and I apologize if I butcher your name, Starla Thornhill says, Wayne can use aluminum ferrochemy, Steris is an adium misting, and Hoyd trained Wayne in disguises. Wayne can use aluminum ferrochemy. Is Wayne, one of his powers aluminum? I'm gonna look this up real quick. Okay, yeah, so according to this, Wayne can use bend alloy and his gold mines. I'm a little confused why he'd be able to use aluminum ferrochemy. Maybe you can expound on that more in the comments. That doesn't seem like it's something that he'd actually be able to use to me. But Steris is an adium misting. I could see that, although it starts to have the problem that one of the things that really appeals to me about Steris, though, is the fact that she doesn't have any powers, and her power is essentially just being prepared and being who she is, and I really like that. I like having some normal characters along with super powered characters, and once everyone starts to feel the need to get powers, it can kind of cheapen it a little bit. If you take like Spider-Man No Way Home, when they gave Ned the power to do Doctor Strange magic, it was cool, but I wasn't the hugest fan of it. I like Ned the way he is, and I think he's a great supporting character, and the idea that people need to have these powers to make them more interesting just it doesn't jive with me super well. I kind of felt similar about Ellen getting powers near the end of the first trilogy. Love the first trilogy, love the books, just how I feel. Hoy trained Wayne in disguises. You know, that's funny. I've often said that I wish I could get Wayne and Hoyd in a room together to talk about disguises. I think it would be a hilarious conversation. And if it turns out that Hoyd actually at one point in the past gave Wayne tips on how to disguise himself, that would be great. Although Hoyd was the beggar that gave the coin to Wax, and I think Wayne was there. It's been a minute since I've reread those books, but in the comments you can let me know. Was Wayne there? Would he have recognized Hoyd if he already knew him? Maybe. So thank you, Starla Thornhill. Kelsier's Pedicure said, Kelsier and Marsh buddy cop adventures. That would be awesome. I'd love to see more bonding between these two brothers. I think they're both great characters. Although they both kind of have a dark edge to them. I think Marsh is probably the better character, and from what we know about Kelsier, it sounds like he's gone off a dark path. We don't know anything real concrete, but it sounds like he's becoming more of a baddie. And so if Kelsier and March had to go on some kind of adventure, it would be really entertaining, but I don't know how I feel the chances are of that being in Mistborn 7. It would feel like it's kind of hijacking the series from Wax and Wayne if you put the focus on those two. So I don't think that that's probably the direction they're going. So Books and More Books 23 said, without reading the release chapters, and I should make that clear, I haven't read the release chapters either. I'm just going to read it all at once when it comes out. So I don't have any of those. These predictions aren't based on anything from the chapters. At least mine aren't. The comments might be. Without reading the release chapters, Steris becomes a seer and has to fight other seers. With reading the release chapters, Wax becomes a Lerasium Mistborn, and Marcy gets involved off-world, and Marcy gets involved off-world. Trell is autonomy, and Marcy, with the Ghostbloods, recruits other shards to defeat autonomy. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up some of this. I don't remember what a seer is, so if Steris becomes a seer in Mistborn. Let's see what it says. A misting that can burn adium. Okay, yeah. So you think Steris is... I kind of feel the same about that as I do about Steris becoming... Oh, I guess that was the same comment. A seer. It seems like that's going to be a common theory. I personally, I've already said, doesn't really jive for me that she becomes superpowered. I really like Steris's character as she is. With reading the release chapters, Wax becomes a Lerasium Mistborn. What is Lerasium? Okay, so Allomantic used for normal people, burning Lerasium forges a permanent connection between them and preservation, turning them into powerful Mistborn by rewriting their spiritual DNA. Okay, so is that what Elend took in the Well of Ascension that made him a Mistborn, and all the early nobles did when they were helping the Lord Ruler? That's got to be it. If that's the case, if Wax becomes a full-blown Mistborn, that kind of happened in the Bands of Mourning. He temporarily had all the power. That would be pretty insane. Being Mistborn was already pretty overpowered in the original Mistborn trilogy, but at least there were other Mistborns to balance it out. If Wax became a full-blown Mistborn in the second era, he'd just be incredibly overpowered. But at least, like, I don't know, his bloodline moving on his bloodline with Steris would probably create more Mistborns at that point, so that could be interesting to see how that would go. So Marasi gets invested off-world. Does that mean you think she's going to get investiture from another planet and get a different set of powers, like become a Knight Radiant or get a Spren maybe? Trell is autonomy, and I'm curious why you think Trell is autonomy. I'd be interested to know. We don't know very much about Trell, so I'm love to hear where that logic is coming from. And Marasi with the Ghostbloods recruits other shards to defeat autonomy. Okay, is autonomy more of a villain figure? I guess I would love to get more into that theory with you and unpack that. If anyone wants to explain it more to me in the comments, that'd be great. Okay, so next comment. That Cosmere chick said, Wayne will become a Kandra like the first generation. I don't remember. The first Kandra were created by the Lord Ruler, if I remember correctly. Like, he created the Kolosk and the first Kandra. And I don't remember if he made them just from humans, because I know the Kolosk were made from just regular humans. It'd be interesting if Wayne was made a Kandra. I mean, because that would go into his love of, I forget the name of the Kandra from the last book. They'd both be immortal, so that could be a relationship that could go on long term. But also, like, Wayne with disguises, he's honestly perfect to become a Kandra, so I wouldn't have an issue with him going that direction. Jess Czar said the Malwish bleach their toilet paper, and this will be important for some reason. I don't remember who the Malwish is. Let me look it up. Malwish. The Malwish wear red masks. Okay, so they were the people that lived up in the north, and they're going to bleach their toilet paper. I have no idea. That I don't feel like I can give any commentary on that one other than that's an odd theory for sure, unless you read part of the book and it seems to be pointing in that direction. I can't really speak to that. Okay, Carbisto said, my prediction may be the most mundane, but I'm fully expecting a Stormlight crossover of some sort. I think that's very reasonable. If you check out my clip here of one of Brandon Sanderson's interviews, he actually said that this book is going to have the most crossover of any books that he's ever written in the Cosmere.
Lost Metal is the most crossover that we've seen, and I hope it's not too far.
Which is more than Rhythm of War, which that had a whole lot of crossovers if you were looking for them. So this book should, it's going to be a shorter book, but more crossover. Buckle down, there should be quite a bit going on in here. Pedro Nicole, Trell is Dalinar, fused with an Unmade. The Lost Metal is Lerasium. Okay, so Lerasium is the metal that lets you become a Mistborn, but I'm pretty sure, because I did reread the Wax and Wayne series like a year ago, and they said, I remember them saying that they referred to the Lost Metal as Atium because it had all been burned. I'm pretty sure Atium is going to come into effect in the Lost Metal. And honestly, if someone has to be able to burn it, I guess it makes sense that you'd have Steris be an Atium misting. I just really like Steris as her own character, but if someone has to become an Atium misting for this book, which it sounds like someone has to, Steris would be a good option. Or Wax, if he becomes a full-blown Mistborn, being able to burn ATM would be pretty cool as well. Trell Dallin are fused with the Unmade. That would be interesting. I don't remember where Lost Metal comes as opposed to Stormlight. I know that Mistborn Era 1 came before Stormlight. Does Mistborn Era 2 come after Stormlight? Like, is Stormlight in between those two? I knew that at one point, and I don't remember anymore. I want to say that Stormlight is still after Mistborn Era 2. So maybe not. Maybe. Yaga5156 says, Wayne becomes Whimsy and Marcy becomes a world hopper. It seems like there's a lot of guesses that Marcy becomes a world hopper. Has there been evidence suggesting towards that way? I know, like, she's a great detective and has that same drive to learn more things kind of that Kelsier does. So I could see that, but I haven't seen any like hard evidence pointing that she might become a world hopper. I'd love to see her as a world hopper. I haven't seen anything pointing that direction yet. Wayne becomes a Whimsy. I'm not sure what a Whimsy is. I will check. So Whimsy is one of the shards. I'd forgotten that. And Wayne, oh my gosh. If Wayne picked up a shard, that would be terrifying. I don't know what kind of mischief he'd get up to with that much power. If there was a shard that was to bond with Wayne, Whimsy would make sense, I guess. But still, it's terrifying to think of Wayne with that much power and the mischief that he'd get up to and the trouble that he'd cause. Elver, Dad, you can read it right here. They said, the men of gold, the men of red and gold are Light Song's followers because those are his colors, and Trell is Light Song returned again. Wow. The Men of Red and Gold. I don't remember the Men of Red and Gold. Is that in the new chapters of book 4 of Era 2 or Mistborn book 7? If that's the case, that would be really interesting to have Light Song come back. Although, I think Sanderson has said he wants to be really careful about bringing characters back that do die, just because he doesn't want to get into the Marvel situation where it's the undying universe where everyone's coming back after they die. But I like that theory. I don't remember a mention of the Men in Red and Gold. I'm guessing that's book 4. And if they are mentioned there, I'll be really interested. Mad Melon Art said, Asteris can burn ATM and Wayne will die. Well, I've gone over my thoughts on Asteris burning ATM. Wayne dying would be heartbreaking. This is the end of the series. If you're going to kill someone, that is the place to do it. Not the end of the series, but end of the era. And Wayne, I would be very, very sad if he died. K_R.04 said, Trell isn't going to be a real threat. It'll be a test for Harmony and Hoyd to prepare Wax to fight Odium. And Wax is going to be featured prominently in Stormlight books 6 through 10 under a different name, most likely. Okay, well, that's a lot to unpack here. So Trell isn't going to be a real threat. I could see that. I mean, he's got to be a big part though, right? Because he's been being foreshadowed since the beginning of Era 2. We've been hearing about Trell. When Miles' 100 Lives died, he said he was a worshiper of Trell. It'll be a test from Harmony and Hoyd to prepare Wax to fight Odium. Would Harmony and Hoyd... Okay, one, is Harmony and Hoyd going to be working together? And two, why would they provide another god for Wax to fight, to prepare to fight Odium? That just seems like if you're going to test someone that way and for a clear objective, you would put more oomph behind it. You'd have more of a reason. Maybe that's what they're doing, but I just don't feel that right now. But who knows? I could change. But the fact of Wax being prepared to fight Odium, that would be interesting. That would suggest that Odium will probably lose in book 5 during the Challenge of Contests. Do we think that Odium's even going to be a major player in books 6 through 10? Or is he going to be defeated in book 5? I guess we'll find out in the next decade. Wax being more featured in Stormlight books 6 through 10 under a different name. That's interesting. He's going to have to get some long-lasting... Like, he's going to have to find the cure to aging. A lot of these characters are, if they're going to become world hoppers, and maybe there's already a side effect of becoming a world hopper that lengthens your life that I'm not aware of. Let me know, but that'd be interesting. If you have any theories for the lost metal, let me know down below. I would love to maybe make a part 2 if I get enough new theories in the comments below. If you're feeling up to it, I would appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, and maybe check out another one of my videos right here.